Alright, today's episode, we are going to do the Johto Pokemon. Okay, so this episode is going to be way shorter than the last one for three reasons. First, Generation 2 is Generation to introduce that evolutions and revolutions, and like think with them is like many of them can be like this. Says it. Says it. It's like it can be described as a pre-evolved X Pokemon, evolved X Pokemon. Second thing is the fact that, and it's actually specific for this generation with the third one, basically Johto has like the total of smallest number of new Pokemon and force ability. Like the Gen 6 is infamous for like having only 90 Pokemon, but like it has a wave 30 or 40 Mega Evolutions. This is like 120, 130 actually. Third thing is the fact that Generation 2 basically had like the space demo, 1997. Game was released in 1998. So like, and like there was a lot of Pokemon that was like in demo. It was in game, so I believe that some Pokemon could be actualized as made quickly. The best evidence for me is Cyndaquil is like, oh, it's Totodile because they had a total auto evolution and like they basically they evolved forms that look like bigger based on the basic form. So I think that they actually didn't for some reason sense that tools or start evolution for starters and just made design for base phone and just decided to make bigger phones. I just want to end in performance to be matter came back because I can't do these videos when my mother or grandma here he because they love to fucking interrupt me when I speak English. I don't know why. I don't fucking know why. Alright, Securita. Securita might be based on pairs. Which I didn't want to check again when they comes from article like China. According to Wikipedia, it might be isopods type from like America. One Beef is like the pod, but Meganum is actually the one that I saw what is based on because it's Titan Arum, which is a big flower from Sumatra. The earth is actually the address by height, the highest flower in the world. I actually saw it in real life. I unfortunately didn't took the picture of. I just forgot to do this. And I don't care. I forgot about this presentation, kinda. I'm not joking. It's like how much I care. Like how much I care about it. But yeah, I'm going to probably do another part quickly. I just want to finish the saying and then we move to some serious stuff. Syntax query is basically just could say, according to Bill Bapita, it might be based on Christianity also, which is some mythological thing from China. China, now, Knyava is basically evolved syntax. I mean, it's obvious. And Typhosa is a speaker Knyava, okay. Totodile is based on crocodiles, and those things I like. Alligators are from only about America. I'm not sure if there are even any crocodiles in America actually. There are definitely in Africa, Asia, Australia, of course not in Europe. I wouldn't be shocked if they like funded in the next 10 or 20 years some unsaid prehistoric crocodile from Europe that was living with the cavemen. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, we had like cave-based lions, hyenas. Yeah, Sorte is a place for crocodile to be killed by Europeans. Scented and forest, I bet the scented is like based on the Tanuka, which are Japanese raccoon dogs, and ferret, Furet is based on ferret, which is like domesticated lizard for Europe. Hoodfoot and Noctor are basically based on owls. Like I think that species is like incorrect. All I'm gonna second. No, I going to second. Remember, I didn't want to know words. Everyone is incorrect. We see reactors suggested in Asia and Europe. Oh, yeah, Dubai is based on Ladybug style, like lit high everywhere. Redan is like, in my opinion, based on like this weird anime design. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I can't describe it. Like, this is like the style of anime where they had like superheroic style kind of thing. Spinarak is based on spiders and it might be actually based on mostly tarantulas and the smiled faced spiders with eye from like Hawaii or Australia. Arados is named after Ayana, which was a lady from like Greek mythology that pissed off Athena because she was better at doing something and not remember like kneading. Kneading is I think it was kneading. So she like turned her into spider. I mean Athena turned her Ariadna. And she became like the queen of spiders. And yeah, it's just intended to be a big spider. The big spiders are like mostly from South America. Something that it's where it comes from. Combat is basically evolved so bad and got bad. Since so and oh my god, oh my god, I forgot the name into body. Lunatic? No. So, Yanton. Thai actually looks cold. Simpson is I don't know. Simpson is like weird thing. Yantan looks like dolphin a bit, but like its main point is this ball. And I didn't patch the pixel because I think this cases are in now like it's like like known species but like it's based on agri-fishes. It's like those demonic creatures from deep sea that is lies in darkness. Piso is baby. Picasso, that's like Kifa and Inkybug are baby from our Gen 1 Pokemon. Togepi is egg. It's like meant to be an egg. Baby egg. And Togetic is like big egg. I'm not joking. Naturalizator are based on this Native American status that I from like the name suggests US. I think that like everybody I mean I think that like so common like this cartoon thing and like racist stereotypes from the old times to not be not recognizable. May, Fluffy, and Amphiles. are based on ships. They actually originally wanted maybe to be based on toy the ship, but like they decided it was too mess up for origins. The ships actually ships are like from Mesopotamia and like the surrounding areas. But actually, I don't know why just considering it right now, but like the actually its electric type is believed to be based on like what the like I don't remember like the drones I speak about ship or like something I don't remember. This was from like some no this was the connected to like the Android Hunter. What is what is Android Hunter name in English? Android Hunter? I know it's poison or Android, but like what is this movie name in English? Bedrane. Okay, why the translated Bedrane with Anting would be on the Android Hunter? Bedrane is like Begas Otsa, Ostry Begas. So yeah, this is based on novel, so it is from West. Okay, Bell song is another day from, in my opinion, interesting thing. So this Pokemon was originally intended to be like dark, like the color that has always and is original evolution line. I think it was even intended to be big as poison. However, they wanted it to base on like Havan dances. But because it was like the same time that things controversy to last way afraid kinda that if they put Pokemon based on Hawaiian Bay dances, they would be considered racist toward Afro-Americans, despite it was that intended to be racist at all like with things. So they just decided to call it on green and then move poison type in process for some reason. May is basically watermouth. As May is a mix of rabbit and water boys. Water and like of course those cases like your eyes, but like water boys is from California. This is true. This is Sudodo. This is reality. This is pretending to be a and like yeah like actually I think that like the three inspirations from Sudodo first mixed with like intense of D&D, I believe. Second is like basically they wanted a mechanic interesting to just for dog, and third they like stick back act which I like backs that I like things and they pretend to be sticks. Point out, despite of the fact that it looks like animatronics on this picture, I don't know why the assholes. It's basically just fog, regular fog. This is why it's not blue. Copy from some path and based on the dances I like flowers for like I don't know even dandelions. Those are the funny flowers that like were used in medicine. They got from but like this from here has the funny blowing that like you can blow and it's funny like flying. Come on. Atom is based on monkeys. It's creepy as hell. And probably it's based on neural monkeys, which it means that it's from like South America, Latin America. Sanka is a seed, and safflower is like the sunflower. I don't even remember where those comes from. Yanma is based on dragonflies, specifically probability species. And I thought I don't remember where it comes from. But Upe is based on axolotl. Axolotls are from Mexico. And it was in Kansai, which is like giant salamander from the China and Japan. So you think, what the fuck? But now I think the political factors. Basically, axolotls, three are animals, are actually just baby ungrowth salamanders. For some reason, they just don't grow up for the entire life. So basically, just that's the case. Like basically, if human mass is some part of us, just stop it the growing, wing, and just stuck into like toddler phone or baby phone, and they would live as long as normal people, but like they wouldn't be growing up, and they would also have uh, like te wozy, zapomniałem, I forgot the word. No, regrowing of the regeneration. See? So it makes more Espeon and Umbreon. So according to Wikipedia, the god bases on the Egyptian god. I can see it with Espeon, but I don't totally see it with my boy Umbreon. This is my favorite Pokemon. I don't see it being a cat. For me, it's my fox. I think it might, and there is, it might, maybe the potential decided to like put some and give something, but the especially basically wanted to make night and day reviews. Micro is based on like crows. Crows with is like and the fact that like associated with says in folklore, we say that like from Europe, everywhere in Europe basically like Christians were crazy as hell. White crows, I don't know. No, actually no. Basically there was like Nordic mythology, they had ravens, they like priest guys and like you know. And because basically Nordic was like basically one of the main reasons they like kinda noticed tradition. Probably I would like Germanic isn't too famous. I not even know what they were being weak in. I wouldn't be shocked if the ISO were so did they start with ravens or crows and that's basically the pagans the Germanic barbarians were like heavy with the like Simons like the Christ with cross on the arms and what is where it comes from. Soaking is evolved Slowpoke. Miss Drivers is based on this thing from Japan met oh my god I have to turn notes. Trail Buzz. Another Anon is basically alphabet, but correctly speaking Latin alphabet, but with like never guess it. It's from Rome. Um and like that's interesting. Why they do it for Japanese Latin Latin alphabet? Boba Fett is based on this Christian name, this thing named Okagai Koboshi. I'm not even trying to pretend that I know what it is. And and like fancy. You know, it's like this thing that like I in every sport movie that like from famous scene from Rocky where he was hitting this thing. punching bags. The effect is based on the effect. And like the end, I saw the idea of like two bodies in one. And it was actually intended to be like basically it was the alphas. But like they for some reason removed half of this the back the alpha to let it into like black something. This I so might suggest that is ice based on a copy with I so the fact that like file drive is higher than it adds to this sense to this. A copy is like brown thereafter is like small bit it's not as tall as that and it was hiding for many years. It was like one of the modern mega fan, I don't know, fans, yeah, this type of thing. And it was only discovered by Europeans in like 1912. And I think it was like last young creature to be discovered by Europeans. It wasn't, it was basically because like Europeans only reached the continental Africa, the sub-Saharan Africa in like 19th century because it just was only back then when the um, vaccination for malaria was invented. Pinecco is based on pine cones, and I don't know what Feuertech is based on. Don't Spice is based on this word. Japanese or Chinese scripted named Sosinoko. I'm not even trying to pretend that I know anything about this. I will probably be know when I will be doing the iceberg with the guy is based on Gregos that were like cool looking things that people were putting on in like especially in medieval and like there was like the gothic mod. This was like oh it looks so cool like the god so gothic like they were trying to like do that like gothic think art like the mod on gothic I would consider it being like the original edgy kind of thing like like in 19th century, people weren't interested in as it things. They were interested in the Gothic. Then there was like horror. It was escapable, but it was mostly Gothic. Even like first half century, like the most popular horror movies for like first half century. I like Dracula, Frankenstein, not the Universal Monsters. They were I Gothic things. And it was like only like I think in 70s when like the salsa was invented like I saw and I saw with like this raisins horrors Rosemary Baby the Exorcist like those two things really turned like stopped the mod for gothic horror and started like modern genres. This is why so why the like and then it's I saw why so many iconic cars are mostly from 70s and 80s. And they were like as Stings is basically a Steve version of Onyx. Snowball and Grandball are basically angry the Bulldogs. Quillfish is based on Fuzzlefish. If you don't know what is Fuzzlefish, it's like super poisonic fish that is like eaten in Japan. I believe also in China. And in nursery, I believe it's like some species that is like Miss Pooh is either from the same species or like they are like in the same group family of animals. Sizer is basically a skater in red armor. Saka is based on Android in there. I think I saw that it's actually based on Tortoise from Mario. I mean, it really looks similar And if I remember, the dog was the like in phrases and that were introduced as applicable to this point. Kupa to person. Oh, you don't know why, as it's so funny. Kupa in Polish means pool. So like two troops, two soldiers, poo 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 poo. Okay, they had like Bowser just do two just got the too big problem with too big poison fruits. They got like to do a lot of pooping and like it's from the top. I don't know, put to the poo muscles. Like if I remember, because I paired my the origin item because I was interested to like from like Heracross is based on Japanese stag beetle. It's like rhinoceros beetle. It's like similar I think with the Princey. This is probably isolated cat inside the basically just another beetle Pokemon. From Japan it was authored by the Satoru Itachi in his long in his childhood as the fight as the soldier. Sneasel, despite what Bulbapida trying to convince me, is a mix of cat with some white sunnies on Japanese creature that don't even look like Sneasel. It's fucking wizard, okay? It's wizard. Literally, the creature is never Sneasel. It's for like Rasan to die, so like, I'm not, like, no, can't convince me that it's optimized. The delusion is based on like Azan Gagbe. Yes, with like small birds that like from my eyes are definitely like in that maybe so like basically to see if you ever saw like the birds that like look like that starved that I can't the size of human it was like some starved white dog in the size of human it was like this guys. The Diusa is based on European in Bombay, Favorman. And if you don't know, if you know anything about, okay, about like Crusoe, you would know that Rasan has think with base. Those are these famous base that like Rasan has romance with. Pois I saw. Like, if you don't know what is Zog, the Zog is the aristocracy Rasa. For some reason, every aristocrat at Rasa had a bay. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. Those are Russian. Those are barbarians. Fragma at Magkago? I don't remember. I'm sorry, I really forgot some character names. Magkago. I based on like slugs with like yak snakes, die snakes and slugs. I don't understand the difference in English and think the snakes has the same and slugs don't. But like in my country, Poland, the country that like created some most closest animal names. I'm talking about like no, I'm thinking about things like Gibboness because it was then Gibbon. Like the Amonito is Amonito. One is Pansenic and like second is like Poversnik or something like this. Even says I'm not safe. I'm not even going to like one moment. I just want to find this name. Okay, because it's the most recent. Think ever. O I have it. Wosopukeznik kosmaty. In English, big hey Amadeo. All the times, hey Amadeo. But because it isn't Amadeo, it had to be named Wosopukeznik kosmaty. I told you that those names are crossed. It's like the same kind of this thing. Has like from Sachs and Snake the same name. I don't know why. Okay, we have Piles Fine and Svanap. Okay, so according to probability data like based on Guinea pinks, I can see the similarity because I had Guinea pinks. In first, however, place they are of course based on the balls. But like but like this is how look baby boys look like. It's evolved is like some mess but kind boys are like from Europe and Asia. Korsora is based on like coral. It's the best evidence for this is the fact that Gaian Korsora is basically dead coral reef. Emerald is based on fishes and guns. Guns, the like modern ones, from what I said, cat in like research, I found like Sina 11th century Crockett speaking Manzura. Today is on the other hand, is not it was based on tank and it can be seen. Tanks are were invented by Brits is during the World War One One, but like the of course are famously connected to like Zemans, Pantera, Tiger, Mouse, like no name, like not let's be right. If somebody says if like anyone one would be like heads to ask say what country do like tanks come to mind when you think about tanks? The answer is Zeman or Soviet. And it comes to RTA. RTA is like consigna or Italian, depending on like how you want to describe it. Daybird is interesting. So Daybird is based on like Santa Claus. Santa Claus is like from North Pole, which depending on what part of what US is of course somewhere in Canada or Alaska, I don't remember. But in Europe sometimes it's considered to be on the Greenland, sometimes because of Americans in North America, but like mostly is from somewhere not into Scandinavia. I think there is like Santa Claus with either in Finland or Norway. It's also based on these penguins, Raphael penguins. One moment. Oh, I have it. It's based like Rockhopper penguin, which I am even technically speaking from Antarctica. They're like closer to South America. So like, yeah, we have penguin. We don't even have the penguin for like the pole, for like Arctic climate, and it's in Santa Claus costume. Okay, what the fuck? What the heck? My time is based on the manta, which are basically uh, species related to sharks. It might be also based on like Bombays, based according to Bubaipida. If they are based on Bombay stars from Itai, this means that uh, like Remoraid comes from Manzura. It was originally from China. Then it was the taken to Italy by Italian merchants. Then it finds my time. They get into symposium and they created my time. Or it was on my time or on my tech. I don't remember which one was built before and which one was evolution. Skymai is based on the condors and on this research from CM mythology and don't see a resemblance. For me it's more Mortres or Philo. But according to Bubapy that this thing is named Encanto. No, it's from Encanto. Encanto? It was the name of place where it comes from. Let me say it's this Christian. Nie ono te pixels identical jak Mortis, a literally took jak the one that don't resembles Mortis, really. So yeah, we found origins of Mortis. It's actually from English. So Articuno, Zapdos is the debate. So Articuno isom might be from America. If we consider that I think it might be actually from somewhere in Central America or even Canada. Handu and Hadal are based on two things. Dobermans with German race of dogs and Greyhounds, which are now for modern people mostly as associated to Keruba boss and has been hotel, especially Keruba boss. And we all know what I mean. Mm. But yeah, they are super at the mass order than Keruba boss. I mean Keruba boss literally and has been hotel they took probably every name at the iPhone all the time. Even the Alastor is basically there was some guy in 20th century which was some red music named Alastar, and he was some crazy man. He had some assistants to Nazi, even if I remember. Another King. Kingda isn't only evolved Sida. It's based on the Cornet Sea Dragon seahorse, which is species endemic to Japan. And I'm so proud of it. Fanfi is based on baby elephants. Interesting thing with Donphans. So Donphan is based on what elephant. According to Bulba that due to his small size, it might be based on tanks, tank legs. But you Bulba Peter don't know his story as good as me. So you see, the word elephants are mostly associated in modern time with Indian elephants, African elephants. However, the ones used by Hannibal, the most famous one, were actually dwarf, not African elephants. That exists, this is now, it's got this aspect as round eyes, due to let's be climate change and others involved, and because the people back then didn't care about nature as much as in modern times. I mean, if this research was 2000 years long guy, and think it was alive modern times, people would try to save it. But it died 2000 years too early to the climate change and what people rest in peace, my bad. So yeah, and like I said, try from North Africa. Polygon 2 is basically literally you evolved Polygon. Original design had at least some origins. This one doesn't. Stante is interesting. So you see, this is Japanese day. And I think I want to like say a fun fact out. The days the days in Japan, I actually in most of the country when it, for example, when it comes to Taiwan and Honshu, so I'm going to like speak specifically about Honshu. The only notable part of Honshu where this island found in the right is the Kanto region. So those creatures not breaking Kanto isn't so like wet thing like with like most cases there was that invented translating. They are actually not from Kanto. They are from Japan. They are from Johto. They are just not from Kanto. Smigger is based on the bigger and Pentes. Triog is like pre-evolved Hitmonlee and Hitmonchanter tried to do something similar. And Hitmontop, I think they tried to like do something cool and they wanted to like base in on like the movie fights. Smallsome is Baby Six. And is multi-pattern Six. Ekid is Baby Ectabats. And Magui is Baby Magma. Metang is based on calls. Actually, like some group of posters like from the Canary Islands, recent say France, Netherlands. So yeah, we have on first those Pokemon. I suppose most of them be based on God. Basic is ever sensing, and now we got to interesting things. So I think that actually Raikou and Suko. Where are originally intended to be like legendary Pokemon with Arcanine. It's like based on the dogs. Arcanine was based on the Japanese, Chinese, like the Buddhist, this garden statues. Raikou was based on saber-tooth tiger with, despite of name, isn't a tiger. It's more canine. I think that it's the best evidence is the fact that is more proper name is Mayabo. Done. And second, in my opinion, is based on dialogue. So according to Bubapita, it might be based on this Christian named Raizu. And believe that the actor wanted him to be Sabertooth, but like they decided to like they want actor cats. The cycle is still like more canine. Like they decided to write cool Raikou says into more like cat based thing. And Enthusiast was added in the place of Arcanine and was from beginning based on cats. Rounds specifically. Tiani Ravitai, Pupian, and basically just pair with Tianita. Tianita. Tianita is actually one of the oldest Pokemon. It was based on Godzilla. It was going to be back into Generation 1. It was just set to Generation 2. It wasn't involved, included in like the Pokemon that were decided to be into them. So I think it was originally intended to be like one stage Pokemon, but like they wanted some sort dragon based creature like Dragonite, and they decided to like give him nuisance. So the first form is basically small Tianita, and his middle form is like this armor on his body. Like you can even see that is just the Pupita is basically like Tianita. I think it was first intended even. Yoga is potentially based on Rusin. However, it's famous that most from the fact that it was actually created from Pokemon anime when the character was on drugs. And Ho, no, it's not just. Ho is based on Sunny's Phoenix. It's simple. This is how Sunny's Phoenix looks like. And Sebi is based on Faye. So yeah, like I said, it only took me 45 minutes. Wow, it took me longer than I thought.